Hey, everybody, we'll just give everyone a couple minutes to come on in. We're going to give everybody a couple more minutes to get in. We're going to start here in a minute. Just trying to let a bunch of people get in. All right, everybody, welcome. Thanks for everyone for joining on the eve of a launch of NBA The Run. I'm Mike Young, the creative director of Play by Play Studios. And before tonight's game, we just want to give you a deeper look at everything that's going to be in the shipping version of the game out tomorrow at 11 a.m. Pacific time. So we do have a lot to get through, and we want to show you as much as we can. So let's jump in. So we'll start off with the shop. So in the shop, you earn cred just by playing. There's no purchases in the game, but you earn cred by playing runs, achievements, leveling up, and then you can spend that in here. One of the things we have is the rookie variants. These actually play different than their current current variants do. So you got rookie LeBron. Sorry, triggers aren't working here. Steph Curry. Well, Supersonics action. Luka with the Mavs. And some people don't even remember this happened, but SGA is a Clipper. So these are very cool. They have different in the zone abilities as well. We've got tons of outfits to go. So as you level up rank, you can go through and unlock different outfits for your character. So even cool things like a Brooklyn Nets, KD, Trae Young back with the Hawks. And so as you rank up, more and more things become available, like retro Rockets jerseys, retro Bucks. Those are some of my favorite ones. The Chinese New Year, Scotty Barnes, Raptors. So lots of cool stuff here. St. Patrick's Day jersey for the Celtics. We've got tons of dunks. So here's a pro tip. When you first start spending your cred, the one thing you're going to want to do is get dunks. So you start the game with 0 signature dunks, and the advanced dunks basically are with combos of your trigger buttons, and they actually earn more in the zone points. They have more risk of actually not hitting them, so failing those dunks. But when you're trying to earn in the zone, you got a breakaway, you got a good dunker like Anthony Edwards. You want to get at least one of these equipped right away before you start buying outfits or other stuff. So lots to choose from. Through little Scotty Barnes there. So huge part of the game is, being flashy, taking risk, getting in the zone. And these are a big part of it. So yeah, your first 700 cred should be going to a dunk. Taunts. These are fun. Different ways to kind of trash talk during the game, before the game, after the game. I think one that's going to be very popular is at rank 10, where you can show off how many trophies you've won. So definitely a really good flex post tournament. It's cooking. So at launch, you start with 1. All the tricks are on the D-pad, or all the taunts are on the D-pad. You only start with 1. So a good way to show that you're making progress with the game is to start to get more of these higher ranked taunts. Ice in the veins. And then we've got badges. You are earning badges as you progress, but you can also purchase some from the shop. And, a lot of them NBA team-based, a lot of them game-based. And then as you get deeper and deeper, you get alternate logos. You get IP characters, logos. You get Babito's signature, Dunk KO. And then a lot of really high levels, you start to get into the player specific ones. So if you always run with LeBron, you can make your badge LeBron. We even got ABA St. Louis Spirits for El Gigante. This is probably my favorite one. Our designer, Ryan Murphy, did a bunch of these, and I think they're really slick. Lamellos, Ants. So really cool stuff there. Banners you're unlocking as you level up, but then there's stuff to buy here in the shop. And as you look around, you'll see, different team banners. This Harden beard one's super sick. But yeah, again, if you have an affinity for a player or two, like Luka, you can, at higher ranks, start to unlock these and equip them when you play with those characters. It looks pretty slick. So just some stuff to look out for there. Actually, while in the shop, some of these characters can be had in the deluxe edition. So it's or they can just be bought through cred, but I'm going to go ahead and buy LeBron. Go into the locker. So the locker is where you load out everything from your outfits. So as I go through, you see all the different possible unlocks per character. I love the orange Charlotte Bobcats for LaMelo. I've always loved this statement Magic jersey. This is pretty slick. This throwback Knicks jersey is pretty nice as well. Always love the city jersey. Warriors. You can't beat the blue Lakers jersey. So a lot of characters have different things. KD has his Rockets jerseys. He's got a throwback Suns. He's got a Nets as well. So lots to unlock and kind of aspire to. Harden's got a ton as well. Clippers and Cavs. So on to the dunks. Here's how you assign them. So when you unlock them, you assign them to a certain button combination. So right now I have this reverse in the left button plus dunk. And so I'm going to switch it. I don't want it to be there anymore. So I'm going to put it on the left trigger. So buy the dunks, assign them to the slots you want, and then go into the game. And this is more like a profile level. The dunks and taunts are profile level, whereas the outfits are character level. So the badges, banners are also profile level. So no matter who you're playing with, you go in with those.
There's a question. Did you have a favorite kind of advanced dunk or one you're excited to see?
I think the free throw line, just since I'm such a more of an old school guy. So anything Dr. J or Michael Jordan did, I think is pretty cool. It's a great question. But again, I can assign up to 4 taunts. I can change them out all the time, but just come in here and assign them. Badges, same
I think
thing.
you mentioned this before, Mike, but like Dojo Consultancy wanted to know if you can buy or boost any of these like cred, or does do any of these boost your stats, or are they purely cosmetic?
Everything's cosmetic. We didn't want anything to feel pay to win. We didn't want people to have to like grind or pay to get advantages in the game. So we're really about cosmetics. The rookies themselves, we consider them just as good as their current day versions, but they are different. So they're not rated the same. And I can show you that when we go into ratings, but cool stuff in here. But as you unlock, it all stays in here and you can equip it anytime you want. I'm going to go back to, so I'm going to show the profile, and I don't think we've ever showed this before. So we do have an unlock rank system. So some of you played in the betas, you might have gotten to some, like the first 5 levels. So as you go through, you unlock cred, you unlock banners, you unlock characters. So Shentong's the first one you can unlock. And, cool banners. These are a really good way to show people how long you've played and where you're at right away. Destiny Jackson comes in at 15, so she's one of the best shooters in the game. I've already seen people tearing up with her. Yeah, but this progression track shows you when you can unlock stuff by just playing and getting to a different rep level. Spin Cycle's the last fictional character, and then Babito is all the way at rank 45. So right now there's 50 to go through. We have stats. We keep track of your stats. So this weekend, Looks like I played a lot of games, 136 games. Keeps track of your win-loss, your tournament wins, amount of times you've been MVP, all the XP, and then it also keeps track of your most played player. And you can go through and actually go through and get stats on each player. So when you're thinking about like, what's my best loadout, what's my team, like I'm 18-1 with Giannis, so I think I'll play more with Giannis. I haven't played with LaMelo yet. Scotty Barnes looks like I was only 2 out of 3 with him. So it's pretty cool to like look at who your favorite characters are, keeps track of their lifetime stats, know who you're good with, know who you're not good with. There is an achievement to win a tournament with all of the characters, which you can do in solos or squads. So that's pretty cool. Hard to do, but I think it keeps the game fresh. Wong, you got any other questions coming in?
Yeah, I got a ton. Hold on. Keep going a little, and then I'll break in with a few on the next.
Okay, cool.
on the next one. Yeah.
So, yeah, I'm 100% with Joker. Got to play with him a little bit more. But yeah, this is a really cool thing. I'd love to see people start to share this when they get hit big milestones. I'm only 80% with Wemby. Not doing good enough.
We're getting a lot of questions about just like, just are we gonna do more things like more jerseys, more rookie variants, legends? Like, you want to just talk about like just broadly how we're thinking about expanding the experience?
Yeah, so Scott's already announced that we are going to do Legends. So we will have retired players in the game. We haven't announced which ones will come first or when they're going to come out, but it's a big passion of our team to have them. So they will be coming. We look to have more variants of modern day NBA players. So you could imagine, MVP versions of characters and certain people like KD have had such illustrious stops. Like, could we see someday in Oklahoma City KD and partner him with SGA and play as all Thunder characters? I think that'd be pretty cool. So yeah, we plan to keep adding to this and different themes. And I think giving more variants of, we all love Street Volume 2, and the 3 Jordans was one of the coolest parts of the game with Wizards, Rookie, and, Prime Michael Jordan. So I think that's something we're inspired by.
And let us know which legends you want. Ping the general chat channel. We'll probably set something up about legends, but we want to hear. I see the chat, AI, Shaq, legends that come to mind. Throw them out in the Discord. We're listening.
And I think what's cool is to think about our game definitely skews the characters to have like really towering strengths and like debilitating weaknesses. So I really look at the legends, not just because we want the coolest players, but to have a different type of character we don't currently have in the game, like a Dennis Rodman someday, or lead into players that were known for street ball, like Rafe Ralston, Skip to Malou. So I think there's tons of awesome potential for different directions we can go with it. So a lot of feedback came in on stats. So we'll go through and look at some of the stats. So I'll just fly through this a little bit, but we have 2s and 3s, dunks, handles, passes. I think that all makes it's pretty straightforward. Guard is for when you're holding down the guard. This is a huge tip, is if you guard a player, their shooting stats go down. So it's very important to be in guard. And the closer you get to somebody, you'll see the arm go up and you'll have even more impact, and your blocking and steals ratings will go up. So guarding is something I'm not seeing enough of in the game, but your guard rating, if you have a high guard rating, you get guard boost from further distance, almost like you're intimidating. Steals, blocks, rebounds all make pretty straightforward. Speed, obviously. Power, these are the characters that are much better with shoves, and they win a lot more posterized moments. Stamina is so key in this game, really understanding when you want to use it and how you like recharge and when you go for it It's really difficult just to run back up and down the court on offense and defense, just trigger down the whole time. And I think it makes the strategy really good. Aura is I think, somewhat misunderstood, but this is our stat that allows you get more points for in the zone. So characters with higher aura are sort of more known for flash, flare, fan appreciation, but they'll just get into the zone quicker. The zone ability is what happens when you're in the zone. So when you go in the zone, your character for 30 seconds gets speed, stamina, and power boost, all of them across the board, but then they additionally have this very special thing. So for lockdown, he has increased defensive rating, steals, blocks, shove, and guard. So as of what's changed with some of the ratings, Bam, we decreased his threes, changes into zone ability to lockdown. We had something offensive, but he is one of our more powerful defensive characters. Scotty Barnes, we decreased his threes. This guy is a defensive stallion in this game, and although he's decent in threes, we took them down because it kind of made him like he really didn't have a weakness. So we looked at him. Jalen Brunson probably got the biggest increase across the board. So his speed got increased, his guard got increased, and intercepts, and we gave him a crown in twos. So I think he's really fun to play with, and look for that. Anthony Davis, he got an increase in twos and decrease in threes. He is a monster rebounder and blocker in the game. So really fun to play with. Ant Edwards.
Definitely not fun to play against you when you're playing AD, though.
Yeah.
Just as stay away from Mike when you see him playing AD live.
That is very true. I'm pretty good with him right now. Ant Edwards, he got the increase to aura, so he's one of the only crown aura guys. I think he proved that in the playoffs. He's just Mr. Aura. Harden.
Ranjan has a question. Does passing improve the receiver's shooting stats?
Actually, sometimes. So while you're in the zone, a few characters have a dropping dimes ability, and that character gives them a significant boost to their shooting. So if I'm LaMelo Ball, I'm in the zone, I dish out to, say, Anthony Davis for a three. Now Anthony Davis is much more likely to be able to hit that three. The timing will become easier. He can also, and this is a super pro tip since you decided to spend your time with us tonight, if you off the Hize with LaMelo while in the zone or Luka while in the zone, you'll see a green flashing ball. That means you're getting a shot boost with for the next 4 seconds. So if you off the Hize to yourself, it counts as a pass to yourself, and now you have that. It's pretty high risk, but it's really cool. Going back to the ratings, Harden got a decrease in guard. Joker got a decrease in guard. Where's Kawhi? He had his in the zone ability changed to lockdown. Maxey had his in the zone changed to Rocket Man. Donovan Mitchell had an increase in dunks and changed his in the zone ability to amped up. Ja Morant got a crown in dunking. Tatum, we changed his in the zone ability from the shadow to something that felt more appropriate for him going off. Thompson, we decreased in both twos and threes. He's a really great defensive player in this game, very powerful, but he's getting dinged a little bit on the offensive side. So Wemby was the talk of all of the betas. So what happened to Wemby, and we played with him a lot this weekend, is we lowered his stamina and his jump height. And the jump height's significant because it means some of the crazy blocks he's getting, he's no longer getting. Because of his playoff run, we did give him a boost in aura, but in addition to some of the tuning we did around blocks and around the hoop blocking, you're seeing that there's very little goaltending, and it seems very high skill when you do get it. I've only seen 5 in like 120 games online this weekend. So hopefully you guys love that. Zion decreased his threes. Trey Young increased his twos, decrease in speed and threes. And then El Gigante, we changed his in the zone ability to the shadow. The shadow basically means you don't even need to guard to get the boost of guard. So it's almost like you're so intimidating that people are sort of in their head. That's all I got, unless Wong has any other ratings questions while I'm in here.
I think people want to just zoom in on certain players, but like
Okay.
Kyrie was definitely
Oh, yeah.
definitely a.
We went right past him. Sorry, that was my bad. He's in my script to give a little love. So we were towards the end of development, and we knew we could make one more character, so we asked the Discord channel who they wanted, and it was unanimous, like 99% was Kyrie. So he's really fun to play with. Obviously, he's known for handles and tricks, and so he's got the crown. The zone ability ankle breaker. One thing you should know is that the base tricks on the stick, the right stick, they actually can break ankles while in this. So you don't have to use the ankle break modifier. So that's pretty cool because you do change of pace, like a really fast spin followed by a slower spin, and still be breaking ankles all over the place. His stamina and aura are out of control, speed. So he's not the strongest defensive character, but speed's one of the most important things in this game, as is stamina. So I think he's really powerful. Anyone else want?
Somebody asked about Scotty, which is my
Like
my
they,
goat.
like they wanted. Well, Wong started. Andrew Wong, who you're hearing his voice. He started just killing all of us with Scotty Barnes, and we're like, "What's going on here?" Because he'd make 2 blocks on a possession and then come down and drain a 3. So I think he's a lot more balanced now. Anyone else?
Still fun, yeah. No.
Oh yeah, he's still fun. I mean, our goal in general was to create, a bunch of 04 Michael Vicks. Like every character could be argued that they're OP in their own way, but with the rule sets changing every single round, I think it's impossible just to have one great character that can win it all. I think you do need a balanced team, is what I'm finding. All right, so I'll go into shoot around and talk about some of the changes we've made. So one of the big things people asked for was more fancy trick moves like the and 1 days and beat street days. And so we've now got 12 tricks. And it's the stuff that you'd expect, like the hurricane, check your bags, treadmill, slip and slide, just things that were part of those classic games in the past. So chain those things together, come up the court. They do cost a little bit of stamina, but come up the court, spin out of it. Oh, so Bam, I'm playing with Bam. And he doesn't.
There was a request in the chat to do a shoot around with Kyrie since he's the king of handles. All
right. Happy to do it. He better not break his ankles. Go. So I do think this works like the lab. Each person has a different shooting form and timing, and getting that timing right is really important. Once you get into the games, they get pretty competitive. And so I do think going to shoot around if you're switching characters is a pretty big deal. So when I hit left button with the stick, I can do advanced versions of the spin. See the stamina bar charging. I did talk about this in another time, but that yellow circle is his shooting range. So he's green from here. green in here. Now this will change if I'm moving. It gets a little bit of a reduction if there's nearby defenders and they can add to each other. So if you have two people, that's one of the bigger changes we made to how easy shooting was starting to have shooting in traffic ding you quite a bit. And then if someone's in guard, it'll also reduce. So, when we had our first open beta, people were hitting shots from back here on the regular. And so that is no more. But showing off some more of the tricks. Any other questions? Talking about some of the other tuning things. We did talk a little bit about goaltending, which was one of the bigger complaints last play test. I feel like it's in a really good place now. So goaltending and blocking is still very powerful, and it's meant to be very powerful, more than realistic, but that's the type of game we're creating, where defense feels powerful and every possession feels very tense and stressful. Doing these moves should feel like a risk. I might turn over the ball, but I might break an ankle to get enough time to shoot over Wemby. We did a couple other things we did for the glass cleaner and the zone ability. So if you're Jokic's the only person who has it now, but if he gets a rebound, he'll get a flashing green ball, which means his shots increased for the next 4 seconds. So for his offensive boards, that's really powerful. And another little tip is if you off the backboard pass to him, oh yeah, Kyrie's not the best dunker, but if I off the backboard pass and rebound it and get that flashing ball, like run to the corner, it's a little pro tip for we reduced AI shoves, which is really great for solos. We tuned down paint patrol in the zone block boost, which is another reason Wemby was a little crazy. Rebalance rule sets to get more variety round to round. We basically heard that people love the rules, but they felt like they're getting the same ones over and over again. And so we flattened them out. So you should get more, which again makes the strategy of picking your team really good. And the squads I'm seeing is like that are successful is one game, it's all about Curry. The next game, it's all about the blocking character. The next game, it's all about the dunking character. And the teams that can balance that tend to win the championships, which is awesome. We did make self backboard passes a little easier to catch. That's done with the left bumper and top base button, and then jumping. The only other thing we did reduce we had some feedback on the speed of the ball coming off the rim. So we did want to improve rebounding so that it didn't bounce as high and as crazy. And it made it more predictable for putbacks and rebounds. And it also left it at a level where I think good rebound characters like Joker and AD still have an advantage over like a Steph Curry, because they're able to jump higher and win those battles more. So skill was a really big part of that. What other questions we got?
I think you were gonna show people just like the front end of how like knockout like private tournaments work. So there was a couple questions about seeing that, and then there was also a question I know you guys are looking at, but we might not have like a firm answer on today, just about the cameras, commentary around cameras.
So as I go in here, I'll talk about the cameras. We've heard the feedback, a whole generation of gamers that want to enjoy this game grew up with only 2K as the reference. They're not aware of the side scroller days. So we have prototype stuff, but we're not ready to put it in the game. But we've always planned to add more selectable playable cameras to the game. But hopefully you see that we're always listening, but we're never rushing to just hack something in. The camera change, the stuff we're prototyping, we're happy with, but there's crazy performance potential issues and stuff that we really have to play test thoroughly before we put something like that out. But we hear you. We know it's something we want, and fully believe we'll get to it. We just haven't confirmed how quickly we'll get it because we want it to be done right. Where am I going? Oh yeah, game modes. So, we have squads, which is play is up to 3 people against up to 3 people in a 4-round tournament. Solos is control the whole team against other humans, go through the tournament. And then knockout friends is sort of a private way to play however you want. You could just go in here and invite a buddy to like basically just be in the online queue and play them over and over and over again in a tournament, but it is the way to just play each other. So you go in here, I choose to create a party, it creates a code. That code is now on the screen. I can, share it however I want. And we can have up to 48 people in here. So think about it. It could be, private tournaments. It could be just you and 3 of your friends want to play against bots just to warm up. You could have, 4 teams of 3 with just your friends. This is a really cool way to do that. And then I'll go here quickly before anyone else is in here. This is where you would see in the social panel all the people that are in there. And, then you could start inviting them to your crew or anything you want.
Someone asked, Pookie asked, what's something you're excited about adding?
That's. I already said it. I grew up in a different era, so Legends for me is the thing that gets me excited because this is more of a character-based game, and I love trying different characters, and so I think there's so many to choose from the past that could, really give a different flavor. So that is always going to be my thing. That's a sneaky way to ask. So I like that. Any other questions? I'm willing to stay if people are interested.
Somebody's really wanting to show the shop again and the different jerseys. So if you do want to move
Okay.
on to the shop and show the jerseys, we can keep talking and we'll look
happy.
for questions.
Is it better to do it through the locker so you can see every player's all their options, or do you want me to go to the shop? Or does it matter?
Oh, that's probably good. Yeah.
So I'll just go through. Here's what's going to be available for Kyrie. Another cool pro tip is if you unlock this jersey for Kyrie and Cooper Flag and you unlock rookie Luka, you can match and go into the game as the Mavericks. It's the first team you can actually match all 3 uniforms to, which is kind of cool. That's the nerdy type of stuff I'm into. LeBron and Luka have the same. The rookies just have the one right now. But in general, we have icon, statement, association, and a throwback for most players. That's pretty sick. I love the Iverson era Sixers jersey. Oh, we even have the Utah Jazz for Donovan's, which is kind of cool. Is this good speed for everyone? Go ahead.
There's some chat about ratings. Can you talk about the balance on characters with lower stats? Like, what's the difference between a 3 and a 4, or a 2 and a 3? Like, and maybe you can go into a little bit more about like what's going on behind the scenes a little in our approach to that.
Yeah, I'll just try to keep doing this simultaneously. So our ratings are sort of in the format of NBA Street Volume 2, which there was behind the scenes a scale of 1 to 100 or 0 to 100. And so a crown is basically 100 or more. The 5-star rating is sort of an 80 and above, 81 and above, and then 80 to 60 is a 4, and 59 to 40 is a 3, and 39 to 20 is a 2, and then 1 to 0 is is a 1, and then 0 is a 0. And Babito's, oddly enough, is the only character that has a 0 in anything, and that's his dunk, and he wanted it that way. So it's pretty funny. But that is, when we looked at some of the reaction to the ratings, I think somebody might have been a very low 5 or a low 4, and people were like, how is that person the same rating as somebody who's like really good at that? And so we're listening to that, and some of the adjustments were done to make. So if you look at, say, 2K's ratings, our ratings are generally in the ballpark, but we bump up some of their strengths and we reduce some of their weaknesses. And in fact, I looked at Wemby's, and all of Wemby's ratings in our game except dunk or block are actually, ours are lower than he is in 2K. Not that everything's 1-to-1, but it just as a reference point. So there is a range. Some people are sort of a low 80, but there's still a 5, whereas like say dunks, like Anthony Edwards is high up there. He'd be at the high range. Does that make sense, Long? I think it answers the question. Any other questions? Did we lose you?
Oh, you there?
Sorry, I was on mute. I was going to say, trying to get through the chat, there's a lot of questions. There are some things that you guys are asking about, voice chat, multiple players on the same team. This is all stuff we're definitely talking about as a team, but we just don't have anything to announce yet. We don't have a roadmap, for example, to announce that we are working on kind of the future content. So, we're gonna get through launch obviously tomorrow. And then I think, we'll be able to start addressing some more of these things.
Yeah, and I think we're always going to listen if someone's like, oh my God, we need KD OKC, scream from the rooftops. That's probably would be one of the variants we come out with at some point. So I think it's really all about the passion. And I think over and over again, we've gone, help us pick dunks, help us pick tricks, help us pick characters, help us pick courts. So, in the early days when we were kind of just doing this by ourselves and we hadn't been announced, we've really loved ever since we've announced and been able to sort of decide with the team, with you guys as the team.
Are there plans for more map or more courts, new rule sets?
Yep, we've started on another court, and we have some really cool designs for future rule sets. Our plan is to add them, and as we add some, we might make some go away for a little while or make them more rare. As we get feedback, we might tune some of them, but there are 2 in the pipeline that I'm really excited about that I think will be really different and original, and yeah, excited to keep adding and mixing it up.
Some people are wondering how we how to get how to I'm trying to say this nicely. Is there an easier way for us to like leave a party after we get grouped with a player that we might not want to play with again?
If you're asking if it feels rude to do that, or you just, right now you just hit that little crew button down there and you'd say leave crew. That's the way to do it. Now, one thing I have seen and felt myself is, oh, that guy was really fun to play with, guy or girl, who knows who they were. But I can go to my recent players too and friend request people that I just thought were cool or had a good game against. So I don't think you always want to ditch teammates, but I played with ball hogs that I didn't want to play with again. And I wish we had a way just to say, bye, it was fun knowing you. But yeah, you just hit the leave crew button and then go on your way. If you didn't want to play with, say you want to play squads, and it's just you and your buddy are online, but you didn't want to have a stranger, you can go to this fill teammates and uncheck it. So then it would be you and the AI character that you, so like, for instance, let me, Scott, he's not online. He's on here, but he's not online. So it could be Scott and I, and then we don't want anybody in our run, and that's what you do. Another thing, if you ever struggle with keeping up with the speed of the game and all the colors, grayscale opponents on grays out the other team, and for some people it's very helpful. It's off by default, but these are kind of features that not everyone knows exactly what they do. But what else you got?
So if we're thinking about things like different types of modes, like how are we thinking about, making changes to shoot around a little bit or evolving it over time? Questions like that.
Yeah, for shoot around, I think we put it in as a lab and a way to just get the feels for the game and the controls, because there's nothing worse than going into your first game and just getting slaughtered because you have no idea what you're doing. So I thought that was good, but I think we would in the future want to add maybe AI opponents to it so you can, practice on some of the things that require a second person. Yeah, I think there's a lot of stuff we could do with that mode to make it more interesting and something that allows you to test out even more. I mean, one thing you can do again is you could go into KO friends if you just want to, play safe off, safe mode where you're not playing people and just keep, just don't invite people in there, and you could play a couple games just to get used to your team, and that essentially would be a shoot around for a team. I like the 3-point contest idea. Someone said, need this answered.
Yeah, there's questions about things that I know we're talking about, like leaderboards, like being able to see who's the best of the best at each character, or I know we have some smaller stuff in like right now, like with your trophy counts and stuff like that. But I know stuff like that is stuff we're talking about, but just don't have any like timelines on yet.
Yeah, we want more ways for people to flex, and this was definitely one of those areas where, being such a small team, we had to prioritize. But if this game's being played by a lot of people, more people are going to want more ways to show off, and which could be leaderboards, could be any number of ways, kind of like our trophy taunt. We'd like to do more things like that, and more stats in the game experience, not just coming back to these screens. But it was important for us to get a lot of the sort of plumbing done first, and so we can build on what we do have.
think I think we should. I know we've been going for a while, Mike. I don't know if you want to say anything in closing. I think we're gonna wrap it up and get ready to watch the game tonight, and then for us, get ready to like turn the servers on tomorrow. So
Yeah.
I think
So
we're gonna wrap it up. Yeah.
yeah, really appreciate everyone spending time with us. Means a lot to us, and we're really excited to get the game out. It is available tomorrow, $29.99 for the base game, $39.99 for the deluxe edition. It's on Steam, PlayStation, and Xbox Series S and X. And tomorrow, 11 a.m. Pacific time. And we hope to see most of you on the court. And I know our team's going to be in there playing probably 8, 10, 12 hours tomorrow. We're excited to see how everyone plays the game and see how quickly it becomes crazy competitive. And then let's hope for an awesome game tonight.
All right. Thanks, everyone.
Thank you.
See you online.